Hi, I'm Leslie,
I'm Stephanie.
and we are the Hand Readers Guild. And we're here today to talk to you about money in the palm of your
Money,
hands.
money, money.
Yeah, I'd sing with you, but I can't sing. So before we start talking about money in the palms of your hands and whether you think you can find it there or not, I just want to tell you a little bit more about Hand Readers Guild and about us. So the Hand Readers Guild, Stephanie and I started that because we both love hand analysis and we want to share what we know. So we are coming to you. We do these videos live, and we usually on Sunday mornings, although every once in a while we change it just a little. But usually Sunday mornings, and we are live on YouTube, and we also have a group and a page in Facebook, and you can find us on Facebook here at the Hand Readers Guild Forum if you want to learn more about hand reading, or you can just follow us on YouTube. And if you like these videos, we would love it if you'd subscribe to our channel. The other thing I want to say is that we do these live. We do not edit them. We leave in the barking dogs, the neighbors' lawnmowers, the mistakes we make when we kind of fumble, and the strange things our computers and cameras do. So we hope you enjoy the real, true us instead of some kind of fake manufactured version, because we like to laugh and have fun with it. So that's why we just leave it the way it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Authentic.
Authentic. That's the word, authentic. So if you're ready, let's talk about money in the palms of your hands.
Yes.
So as usual, we have a lovely slideshow for you. And we are going to talk about, first, we're going to start out with the letter M. So there is something you may have seen. It shows up as a meme. Before it showed up as a meme, I don't know. I would just hear about it back in the day before we had the internet, or read it in books, newspapers. I don't know. See it on TV. I'm not sure where I heard it. But there's this myth that if you have the letter M in your hands, it means you're going to have money. So when I talk about the letter M, this is what we're talking about. So you can see it right there in this particular hand. It's kind of not upright. It's a little bit wonky, but it certainly does make an M, and it's pretty clear. And I'll just take away the little color for you again so you can kind of visualize it in this hand without some highlighter on it, because you're not going to have highlighter in your own hand. And we will, so if you want to take a look at your own palm and see if you have it, we're going to.
Do you have it?
I have it in my right hand. Do you have it?
Only in my right hand.
Yeah, I have it in my right hand, but I do not have it in my left hand.
Me either.
So again, here it is with the highlighter. Here it is without the highlighter. And we are here to tell you that this is BS. Right?
Right. Yes. That does not mean that.
It does not mean that. So what this M is made up of the four most basic lines you will have in your hands. And if you've watched any of our other videos, I'm not sure if we've talked about this quite yet, but everybody has certain basic lines in your hands. You have, and I'm going to go through them right now. So the M is made up of the way these lines cross. Now, not every hand has every one of these, and we'll talk about it as we go through. But the first part that makes up the letter M is your lifeline. And that's that line that circles around the ball of your thumb. So that's what the first part of the M. Then we add in your headline. Now, everybody pretty much has a headline of one sort or another. Most of us have a lifeline. Some of us have a very short lifeline. And we're going to be talking about that in our next video. I have a very short lifeline on my left. But that's for another video, a little teaser there. And the next piece that, so we've got the lifeline, we've got the headline. Then what we're adding in is the fate line. And this might be the one line of these 4 lines making up the M that you wouldn't have. So the fate line goes straight up
usually.
It doesn't always, but
Yes.
it comes from the bottom of the hand up under the middle finger, and it's not really about your fate or your destiny. This is the line that has to do with your purpose over time, is how we describe it in hand analysis. So your work, or it could be your work, or it could be something, your vocation, if it's not what you get paid for, something you're dedicated to, but something that feels like a sense of purpose that you dedicate a lot of time and energy and effort to.
Yeah.
And now this is probably the one line, as I mentioned, that may tend to be broken, missing, and would contribute to maybe you not having the M. And then finally, your heart line. And pretty much everybody has a heart line. You have a heart, you have a heart line. There are a couple of instances where you might not have that. I think, well, let's see. I'm going to try and find that slide.
Next one.
Oh, yes.
There
So
you go.
here's a hand that does not have a separate head and heart line. Instead, it has a single line across that we call a simian crease. And we have a whole video on the simian crease.
We could go on for days about the simian crease.
Days and days and days. And if you have a simian crease in your hand, you will definitely want to watch that, because people who have this often feel a little like they don't fit in. And
little outsiders.
Outsiders, right. But so if you feel that way and you think your hand looks like this, you should definitely check out that video. So let's go back to where I was, right here with the 4 parts that make up the letter M. And so we mentioned that we consider this to be a myth. And here is why. M is the initial for money in English. However, when you leave English-speaking countries, money does not start with M. In this, okay, so we've got, let's do that again. Dinero, de l'argent, soldi, peninga, geld, and imali. So what that is, those are the words money in Spanish, French, Italian, German, Icelandic, and Zulu. And, and if you want to check this out, you can go to Google Translate and type in money and then choose any other language, and you will find that it doesn't mean M. It doesn't start with M. There's very few other ones that start with M.
I was just going to say that. There's very few that are M related.
So what does that mean? Would that mean that people who live in these other countries or speak those languages are never destined to have money? No. It just shows you that this is kind of one of those things that got started somewhere and passed around.
Or does it mean that they have a different letter in their hand? Like, do they have a D?
I don't think it's likely
I don't think so.
going to have a D, because you would have to have an incredible curve.
Or a G. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to have that either. Maybe an I. I can see that. I's might happen, but
maybe. But in general, you're not going to have a G or a D or any of those other letters.
Exactly.
So, there's there are other myths about what you can and can't see in the hands. And as I said, we have an upcoming episode on just that, which will be kind of fun. So you should tune in for that. So let's get back to where you actually would look to see things about money. Now, before we go any further, I just want to talk about the fact that whether you have money or not has nothing to do with luck. Or, yes, sometimes it can be luck.
Lucky.
Certainly if you win the lottery, that's luck.
Yeah.
But we all know about the statistics on that. So it really isn't about that. But so let's talk a little bit about the lines in your hands and the relationship to your outer world. The lines in your hands are put there by the nerve endings that come down from your brain. Mm-hmm. So when we are looking at the lines in your hands, we are looking at basically how your brain is wired. So if in terms of money, what we're looking at is your money mindset. Your money mindset. Would you say that's accurate?
Absolutely, yes. It's where you're going to put all of your focus towards your financials or security or the way you make money.
Right.
All the things that you do to make it, to have it, to keep it.
Right. Or to what you value it, because some people really, really are here and it's not about the money.
Absolutely.
But you might need money to make the other things that are valuable to you happen.
Unfortunately. That would be me. I don't care, but I need it.
Yep, I'm with you on that one. That's why we both only have the M in one hand.
In one hand. Because I got to have it.
Right. It makes the world go round, right? You got to keep the roof over your head.
Yeah. Food on the table.
And is yours, you said yours was the right hand, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So is mine, right? So that's the outer world. So on our inner lives, money is just not that important.
Exactly. It really isn't.
So anyway, regardless of having an M or not. So what we're looking at when we look at your money issues in your hand is we're talking about money mindset. How do you feel about it? Do you have fears about it? Is it important to you? How much do you display it to others? Those kinds of things. So let's look at some of that. So the main place we're going to look for money.
I love that picture.
I know, me too.
It's in your middle finger.
Right, it's in your middle finger. So this is called the Saturn finger. And in mythology, Saturn is Lord of Time. So you've heard the saying, time is money. So that's not, I don't know if we actually just made that up somewhere along the way or who first said that, but there is some historical basis for that. Mm-hmm. And metaphysical basis for it. But also in mythology, Saturn, way back at one time, his temples were where they kept the gold and the riches.
Yep.
So they were the repositories for wealth.
The banks. Mm-hmm.
The banks. They didn't call them necessarily banks back then. They didn't operate the way our banks do now. No. But they certainly are the earliest version of repositories that, and you know, it's partly why this finger in hand reading has come to be associated with money. Mm-hmm. So let's look at some of what we'd be looking at here. So this happens to be a super, super long finger, Saturn finger. Now, when we talk about how long a finger is or isn't, I mean, first of all, that one kind of seems obviously long. Yes. I think that's, of all the examples of handprints I have, that's the one that really stands out as being obviously long. And even if you just look at the tip sections, the upper phalanges, I mean, if you look at the two fingers next to it, Jupiter and Apollo on either side, those upper phalanges are kind of short and stubby. And look at that middle finger upper phalange. It just goes on for days. It's like a skyscraper.
All of them do. All of the little points do, the zones. Mm-hmm.
Right.
They're all really long. Yeah.
Right. So we call in hand reading, in anatomy, they call them phalanges. In hand reading, we call them zones, the three sections of your finger. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the zones. So that is a very, very long Saturn finger. And the way we typically measure is, I'm going to just kind of put me on the spotlight here for a minute.
Sure.
So the way we typically measure is when you, I'm so bad with the camera. You can see here let's do this hand. All right. You can see my index finger. We're better on this one. This is what I mean about not editing, right? All right. You can see that my index finger is almost as long as my middle finger, but my ring finger is shorter and what you typically want is your index finger and ring finger in a standard hand would be the same size, and you want the phalange of this finger to be halfway through the Saturn phalange, the upper Saturn. So to be truthful, it would be okay. It's really hard.
Yes.
It would be more like that. Okay, that would be about the correct height. I got it. Look at that.
Yay.
Okay.
I think it's been a challenge for a while with this.
I think we are doing more laughing than normal today. Okay, so if that doesn't make any sense, you can leave me a note in the comment and I'll see if I can get it explained to you better.
Yes.
So the long Saturn finger. What do you want to say about the long Saturn finger? I think this talks about someone who is conservative. The longer the Saturn finger, the more they tend to worry about the security and money.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to be the responsible types.
Right.
They're not likely to be the person who buys you extravagant gifts for your birthday. They'll buy you something practical.
Mm-hmm. You can use this for a very long time. It has a lot of economic worth for value.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So
yeah.
We're looking at money mindset here. Now, this particular hand also has another problem, though, with that Saturn finger. If you notice, the top section looks like somebody took it and went,
we're bending. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it is bent. So when there's a bent finger, and I'm going to show you the next one, we also have a bent finger. That one's pretty obviously bent as well. So it's a pretty good bet that this person is having some money troubles.
Mm-hmm.
Often when we look at the middle finger like that, bent over, you can, because this is also the finger that has to do with being responsible, right? Or taking on.
Mm-hmm. And feeling secure. Mm-hmm.
Right. Feeling secure, taking on the load.
Mm-hmm.
They might feel like they're being weighed down so much that it actually made the finger fall over.
Yeah. Over responsible.
Right. So much carrying the weight on their back.
Yes. The weight of the world.
Or the weight of their bills.
Or the weight of their bills or finances or somebody else's finances that they feel responsible for. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
So that's one of the reasons why that Saturn finger might have the tip bent over like that. Okay. And what else you want to say about that?
That's also maybe they are doubting their abilities to make money or doubting their security, because that is the upper part of their zone, which is more
the mental
process. Mm-hmm.
Thought processes.
Yeah.
Now,
so
and here's the thing. This might be bent over and they might feel like they're worried about money, and they might have a ton of money.
Tons of money. They might be, yes.
Think about people you know who are always worried about money, and they have more money than you.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there going, how could that person be worried about it?
Exactly.
I'm the one who's got this minimum wage, right? And they have this 6-figure job. Why are they worried about money? But the amount of money you have actually has nothing to do with whether you feel like you have enough. And that's what shows up in your hands.
The mindset of security. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So finger zones. We mentioned finger zones. So we talked about the top section. Now we're going to talk about the middle section. Now, if you look at this hand, those middles are way fatter than the uppers or the lowers. And that's true on the Saturn finger, which is the middle finger, and the ring finger, which is Apollo. So this is a person when they have the width, the wide, they need to have money in the bank.
Yep. It's a priority.
It's a priority. But not only that, because this Apollo, which has to do with art and beauty and nice things, because that section is also wide. One of the reasons this particular person may need to have money is because they like to spend it on luxury items.
It's a beautiful life.
Right.
I must have
Right.
beautiful, shiny things.
Right. I need to have the big fancy house. I
Where's my
need to
Prada purse?
yes, exactly.
Those kinds of things, yes. It's
Yes.
in the show. The money is in the show. So
Right.
lots of bling, lots of I have a fancy car, but maybe I can't quite afford it,
Right.
but I've still got it.
Right. Well, and this hand also has a star right here, and we're going to talk about stars in a little bit under their on the mound under the Saturn finger. So that has another meaning around money. So there's a good chance this person is able to get the money, but there's no guarantee.
Mhm.
There's no guarantee about money marks in the hands that you'll actually get it.
Right.
So we'll talk a little bit about stars later on, but just want to show you the examples of someone with the wide middle Saturn. Okay, next we're going to look at the opposite. And look at that. Oh my goodness. Those things, they look like lollipops, don't they?
Yes. Or bowling pins.
Oh yeah, bowling pins. That's a good one. Yep. Yeah. I know they're really odd looking.
Yes.
So the middle zone on not just Saturn, but also Jupiter and Apollo are like so thin. It's like somebody just put a girdle on them and tugged.
Tighten up.
Tighten up. This is money fear.
Batten down the hatches.
Right. The middle section of Saturn is when it's skinny like that. That's fears around money.
Yeah. We're going into a depression, even if we're not going into a depression.
Right. Right. In fact, the degree of thinness in this hand tells me that this person's fears about money may actually be irrational.
Yes, I agree.
Because they are just so crazy thin.
This would be the person hiding money under their mattress or digging a hole in their backyard, making sure that they have these finances secured.
Right, because they don't necessarily trust the bank.
Right. They have a big, huge safety deposit box in their house or safe.
Buried under the carpet in the floor so that no one can find it.
Yep.
They probably have a freezer full of food. This is the person who took all the toilet paper off the shelf.
Right.
At the beginning of the pandemic. It's this person.
This person right here.
We're going to blame this person.
All right. Don't go looking for some people with little things and yelling at them about toilet paper, though. Because it's just this particular person in general. Specifically.
Right. Some member of your family has skinny middles. Don't.
You took all the toilet paper.
Okay, so here's another hand with a thin middle Saturn. And at the time that this was taken, I can tell you that I know this person well. This person was unemployed for quite a long time with the thin middle Saturn. Now, the interesting thing about this hand is they also have the M.
They do.
Yes, right here, M. And yet, they have no money.
It's like a funnel. So they get money and it just goes away.
Oh, yeah. It is like a funnel, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is like a funnel. Now, the other thing about this hand is the lower zones are super fat.
Little grapes.
Right. Little grapes.
That's what they look like.
Right. So what do we say about the fat lowers? Those are, I need.
Yeah.
And all of them are fat lowers. So
very needy. Yeah.
Very needy. So this person, and the funnel is a really good image for this because it's true. They need. So as soon as they get any money, they need, and they go out and get what they need.
And they forget about what they are supposed to do.
Right. Or having like a few acorns in the bank.
Right. For
that rainy day. Right. To have some money stashed away or, just taking care of business. So this is a person who may let their instinctual desires rule their money choices.
Right.
Now, again, don't go and try and interpret somebody else like, your boyfriend or somebody, and yell at them because their hand looks similar to this, because there are other things that might modify that meaning for them.
Yep. Yeah.
So just a little warning there of do not try this at home.
Unless supervised.
Right. Unless supervised. Right.
Yes.
Exactly. But, these are still good things to learn.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So now we're going to talk about that star on Saturn.
Saturn star.
Saturn star. Now, this is a really beautiful Saturn star. Thank you for this print, Stephanie. It's just amazing. And here I'm going to show you what it looks like with the highlighting so you guys can see it. It's enormous.
This is the best star that we've seen so far in all of our videos. It has all of the spokes that it's supposed to have.
Right.
It's bright and it's shiny.
And yes, it's huge.
It's huge.
So a star in hand reading is defined as 3 lines that meet in a center point to create 6 spokes. And you can have messy stars where one spoke is missing, or where they don't meet perfectly in the center and they're kind of lopsided, or some spokes are longer than others, or it looks like somebody sat on it and squished it, but they still count as stars. But this one, you are right, is a perfect star, and it's enormous.
It's huge. Yeah.
It's huge.
You could see it with the naked eye very easily.
Right.
Coming at you if she had her hand up.
Right. You don't, it's going to stand right out. You don't even need the little highlighters there. There it is.
Yep.
So what is a star? A star, not always, depending on where it is on the hand, but, and we do have a whole video on stars. So if you're interested in this, you can check it out. The star is often an indicator of exceptional ability. And in this case, that is true. So the Saturn star is also known as the Midas touch.
The Midas touch. Whatever you touch turns to gold. Right.
So this is the meaning that you have what it takes to create wealth or exceptional outcomes. Now, this is a gift, and the nature of a gift is that you must use it, or it kind of like turns upside down on you.
Yes.
But again, there are no guarantees, because there may be other things going on with this person that are keeping them from creating wealth for themselves. So take a look. They have skinny middle Saturn and a big giant upper. So yes, so like feeling like they're holding up the world with not much.
Yeah.
Or they have big ideas but don't feel like they have the money to take care of it. So why would that be if they have the Saturn star in their hand?
Making money for somebody else.
Right.
Their money is going to somebody else. Yeah, that's what I can see.
Right. So that's one of the things that often happens with somebody who has the Midas touch, is that they are helping other people get wealthy or get exceptional outcomes, creating exceptional outcomes, but not doing it for themselves. We call them the cobbler whose children have no shoes, right?
Yes.
Right? That's an old idiom from somewhere.
Right.
I don't remember where, but it's an old saying. And so, it's not uncommon for people who do stuff for others and then they don't have it for themselves. In fact, it's kind of common in a lot of situations.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
In different things.
Like the painter whose house is their paint's falling apart, but they do immaculate work for others. Right.
Right. Or just somebody who gives emotional support to everybody else, but never lets anybody do it for them.
Wait, do I have that? Got to check that out.
That's for another video.
That's another video. Yes. Knowing this person, they put out a lot of effort in helping other people, like doing charitable things, donations, and running events. I'm trying to think of what those are. Like for school events, and they would have like a raffle and stuff like that. And this person could always make a lot of money for the organization that they were working for, but I don't know about their personal life. We didn't get too much into that.
Okay. All right. Well, still, it is a gorgeous star.
It's beautiful.
And it shows the potential.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about that person getting their mindset worked out so that they believe they deserve.
It could also be creative money making or creative money management.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Meaning the star.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, creative money management can be positive or negative.
Yes. I didn't say that it was positive or negative, but it could be either.
Yes, it could be either. All right. So we have one last thing we want to show you, which is a kind of an interesting little bit. This is something that is very rare. In fact, super rare. So we just want to talk about the fact that there may be some things that show up in hands that you'll never find in any book, or you'll never have any teacher explain to you, or you'll never find on a Google search or a video. And this is one of them.
Because maybe they didn't ever, nobody's ever seen it.
Right, right.
Yes.
So here is the close-up.
Yeah, it's hard to see there, but yes.
So I did a little bit of a highlighting here so you can see it. So this person actually has a fingerprint on their lower phalange on their Saturn finger. So this is also one of your handprints. You want to talk about it?
Yes. That with the print in your hand is a karmic mark where you it's part of something that you're going to have to do with your life. So this particular person has the ethics and moral code. That's what that last zone is about. And it's about staying in your ethics, staying in your moral code, being the guardian for ethics and morality. It is also the foundation of that finger. So it's also how they would deal with their money and their security, as well as their big ideas of what money and security looks like and their responsibility.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
This is a particular person. If they were in accounting, I would totally trust them with my money because of that particular mark and their ethics. Unless, it always can be flipped where it is like, ooh, don't ever trust that person with their money.
Right. 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 So just to kind of go back to why you said this was a karmic mark, any type of fingerprint ridge pattern, whether it's on your fingertips or ones that show up in the palm of your hand, and it's not everybody has one in the palm, but there are various places where you could see them show up. These are formed 16 weeks after you've been conceived. So in the womb, 5 months before you take your first breath on this earth. And They are unchangeable. They never change your whole entire life. So that's why we say they are karmic. They came with you from prior to birth.
Mm-hmm.
So this person came in with a karmic charge, or kind of like
a reason
that they are here to stay in integrity, and to yes, dog moving green screen.
Stay in integrity, dog. Stay in integrity.
My green screen didn't stay in integrity. So anyway, again, this is one of those things that's we're kind of putting it in here as a little indicator because it's just so special and so fun, at least for us.
Yes.
And just to let you know that sometimes these things show up that you just can't look up. You have to actually reason it out based on the fact of what you know that part of the hand means and what you know about the particular kind of mark, whether it's lines or a ridge pattern, and use your kind of reasoning power to figure out what that means. And this is what I love about hands, is when you find something so special like this.
Yes. I usually talk through with it with the person that owns the particular hand and be like, this is what I see. Does this kind of resonate with you? And then they'll tell me a story that is absolutely exactly what I just had mentioned. So
Right.
it's so amazing. It's fantastic. And it always gives them a little bit of light of their, you don't always get to see yourself, and you have it's not objective, and you
Right.
can give somebody else that information. They'll be like, oh, you're right. I never even thought that I could do that thing, but I do it every day.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
It's a great thing. I love hand reading. Oops.
Yep. That's why I love it too. All right. So that's it from us for today. Oh, yep. Dog moved my green screen. You can see my air conditioner in all my house. There it is. That's okay. So
Technical difficulties.
Yep, it's all right. We had a lot of laughs today, and I hope you enjoyed what we shared with you about money in the palm of your hand. I know there's probably going to be some people watching this who are going to say, hey, they're mad that we said the M means you can't.
Yeah.
You're not just going to automatically get money, but I'm sorry.
It is what it is.
And if you're interested in those kinds of things, tune in. I think our next video is going to be about other things like the M in the hand. I think that's what we have planned. Stuff that you might have heard about, and whether it's true or not. We're going to be doing some myth busting. And again, remember that if you are interested, if you enjoyed this and you want to join our Facebook group, we have the Hand Readers Guild Forum. We also have our Hand Readers Guild page, and then there's our YouTube channel, which you can subscribe and get noticed every time we're going to go live. Or you can just check back and watch the replays of these videos after we've gone live. So
if you have any questions, go to the Hand Readers Guild Forum, and we can answer any questions that you have.
Right, or the page.
Or the page.
Or in the comments under the YouTube video, where we check back to see if anybody leaves any comments or questions, and we will definitely let you know. And that's my dog telling me, yes. Wow.
You're done, Mom. You're done.
Right. Your video's gone longer than normal, Mom. It's time to go outside. Okay.
Have a great day.
All right. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.